guys that I graduated on May 15th. So I'm no longer Black PhD to be. I'm just Black PhD. Um, since I'm also lazy, I decided that I'm not going to change my channel name. So I guess I still am Black PhD to be, but the to be, I guess, goes for we're still growing, to be what, to be employed, blah, blah, blah. So you probably just saw the progression of the ugly cry on graduation day. That was fun. I had no idea I was going to cry until I actually did. And I was the only person who got on stage and got hooded and cried. So that's fun. Um, but yeah, so now I'm going to go through some of the questions that you all have asked me. And this is going to be the grad school diaries. I'm going to start a series of videos. So if you have any questions about graduate school, undergrad, or getting any degrees, send them in to me and I will answer them to the best of my ability, or if you have any questions about my particular experience. So here we go. The first question is from Stuck in the Rut. This person wanted to know, I don't know if you're a he or a she, how did you stay motivated when it takes so long? So let me go through the process. So how long did it take? It took me 6 years to get a PhD. I did 1 year at an institution and then decided that I didn't enjoy the program. And so I left. I transferred to another institution, and I was able to do that because I had an external fellowship that was portable. What that means is basically some other entity besides your university that you attend gives you money to go to school and do research. That money goes with you no matter where you are. So if you decide that you don't like the institution that you're in, you can chunk the deuces like I did and go somewhere else and be happy. Okay, so I did a year there, and then I did 5 years at Purdue. And it's a long 5 years. The program is typically 5 years. Most people finish in 4. There was one superwoman who finished in 3. It took me 5 years because my 4th year, I was supposed to be done that August. And I got to my committee meeting and was told that I was requested that I do another study. Another study means another year. Yeah. So it took me an additional year. I was really bitter for a good 3 months. And then I got some scholarship money, additional scholarship money, and some grant money for research supplies and things like that. So that went really well. So all in all, I got about $21,000 for staying that extra year. So that was great, right? On top of my tuition waiver and the money that I was making being a teaching assistant. So I did not answer the question. So how did I stay motivated when it takes so long? There's a point that you reach in graduate school where you go and you get your master's and you're like, okay, do I quit now or do I keep going? And I had that, discussion in my head. And then I decided I was going to keep going. Then there's a point when you pass your preliminaries or comprehensive exams and you're ready to quit again. Do I quit now or I keep going? To be honest, it was pure stubbornness. I wanted to quit every year, but the point was that I had already gotten a master's and I was how many semesters away from getting a PhD? I wasn't going to quit. So as much as I threatened to quit every single semester, I did not. So how did I stay motivated? I'm stubborn, hard-headed, and I just thought it would be a waste of my time to keep going to school and then not get a degree. Yeah. The second part of this question was, what made you decide to keep going despite the obstacles? So the $21,000 helped that last year. But honestly, what kept me going, just talking to friends and family, and they're going, you can't quit, don't stop, you've come too far. One of my cousins sent me a message on Facebook to something to the effect of, it's when we're closest to the finish line that we want to quit. And if we do, then we're going to look back on this basically and say, man, I was so close. But you have to keep pushing, keep going. So that was really my theme, one of my many themes to kind of get through the PhD. Keep pushing. No matter what happens, keep pushing. Dirty little secret. I wrote my dissertation in like 3 weeks. Don't do that. The reason why I was able to do that, it was already written the year before. In terms of what my proposal was, and I pretty much stuck to what I did in my proposal. So the finishing touches and things like that only took me about 3 weeks to write. Is it the best written document in the world? No. There's a point where you have to figure out how to accept good enough. I know if you're getting a PhD, you're probably a perfectionist. Let that go. You will not get a PhD being a perfectionist. You have to know when good enough is going to be good enough. Just accept it. Good enough. You need good enough to pass, good enough to graduate. After you get your degree, then you work on perfecting things. So I'm actually perfecting my dissertation to be published right now. Yeah. This is a side question. This is from Nuele. She wanted to know things that I did for fun in Indiana. Okay, I know where you are in Indiana, and so I know that you're about an hour away from Indy. And I also know that you don't really know your way around Indy. Um, so I will say this. Downtown is nice. I mean, you can go to the festivals and things downtown. I actually liked Broad Ripple. Spent a lot of time in Broad Ripple. That's where I met my boyfriend. And I don't know, did salsa dancing. There's breweries. If you don't drink, there's still interesting places to go and just see drunken behavior of people. But the only problem with Broad Ripple is that you have the undergraduate population from Butler University. So I tried to go when school was out in the summer. Other things I did, the Indiana Wine Festival. So I sound like an alcoholic. But I did the Indiana Wine Festival. It was just a great way to get exposure to different types of things. And it was free. I volunteered. And that way I didn't have to pay the $25 entrance fee. I got all the same perks as everyone else who paid. And I just worked my 3-hour shift and got to enjoy the rest of the day. Also, the Indie Jazz Festival. It used to be in the summer and now it's in September, but that's something that's really fun to do. Check and see if your university has like a salsa club or a dance club if you're into dance. Those are really things that I did for fun. I took African dance classes, West African dance classes. Yeah, I actually drove an hour one way to do all these things, and it was my way to just release. So I guess that kind of goes with the first question, like what made you decide to keep going and how did you stay motivated? I took a lot of breaks. I'm not one of those people that just grinds all the time. I think that's ridiculous. If you're grinding all the time, you're doing it wrong. You need to be able to work really hard and play even harder. That's what I like to do. So yeah, that's how I did it. Another question that someone asked me, so how old am I? I'm 26. When I got my PhD, I was 26. No, I did not skip a grade. No, I'm not a girl wonder or genius. I just started school early in a private school, and they kept me going. And so let's see, I graduated from high school at 16. My birthday is also in June, so I always graduate before my birthday, typically. So I graduated from high school at 16, from college at 20, got my master's in 2008, however old I was then. 23, 24. Yeah, I don't know. 23. And then I got my PhD at 26. Yeah, so I have a PhD in developmental psychology. And what do you do with that? You do not see patients. You are not a clinician. You are not a counselor. Don't sit on my couch and try and tell me your problems. Don't bring me your badass kids because I don't want to see them. Kidding. So that's not what I do, which is what most people think I do. But what I am qualified to do is research and teaching, and I can teach child psychology courses and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to come back with another video, but keep your questions going. For those of you who are in the process or thinking about going back to graduate school, I will say this. If you're getting a PhD, you should not have to come out of pocket. If that institution does not offer you tuition waivers, they don't offer you some type of research or teaching assistantship or some type of fellowship, they're not invested in their students and you don't need to be there, period. So you should not have to pay for a PhD. That's one of the reasons why I got it. It was free. So most of my student loan debt came from undergrad. So you should not have to pay for a PhD. In the next video, I'll discuss doing programs that in which you get your master's en route versus programs where you just get a PhD as your terminal degree. All right, so if you have any more questions, like I said, go ahead and feel free to email me or hit me up in the comment section below this video. Bye.